mingle with friends, dance to great music, bid on fun auctions, and support a worthy cause. The Diamond Jubilee Gala Dance and Charity Auction is Saturday, February 1st from 6 until 10 at the Boardwalk Beach Hotel and Convention Center, 9600 South Thomas Drive. For details, visit the Women's Civic Club, wccpcb.org.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub! Hey! Water!
Stay hot tub!
Hey!
Stay hot tub! Gonna get you hot tub! Gonna make it wet! Stay hot tub! Rubber dub in the hot tub! Rubber dub!
headphones again?
Second hot tub!
Yeah!
Will you make me sweat?
Yeah!
Chilly in the hot tub!
Yeah!
Will you make me wet?
Yeah!
Well.
Thank God it is Friday. Good morning and welcome to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, the home of the Auburn Tigers, the number one team in the country in basketball. We're also the home for Super Bowl 59, I believe. It's the fifth Super Bowl 59, correct?
Yep. I'm not sure, probably.
I don't know. It's a lot. I know that.
Also the home of the Orlando Magic. We're going to give you a free ride, a free place to stay, free food, a bus ride.
A luxury booth.
Yes.
Everything you need.
All the creature comforts you need and more.
Can't we just trade those for 2 tickets to
Wildcat, are you going as a chaperone like you did last year?
I haven't been asked yet, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a problem. He won't be asked again, believe me. We had a problem.
Here's going to drive the bus.
We saw the credit card. What were you doing down on Orange Blossom Trail? What was that one bill that I got the name of the establishment?
No.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I was like, what dinner? What did you have? What did you eat? What did you drink? What did you do?
Filet mignon and table dances.
No, a little bit was bail money. But.
Yeah, anyway. Yes, we also are giving away 2 national championship tickets.
What?
These are valued at $2,000 or lower level. And it's section, I got it right here. But the winner was Julie Hale, and she's taking me. So, Jason, you're out of luck. Too bad. Too bad.
See how he is, Jason?
Yeah. Well,
hey, you told me the prices were going down. What I saw, they're not.
No, I said they were going up. I've been
I
watching.
thought you said they went down.
No. Yeah.
What was it, $1,300 just to get in?
It's all relative. Yeah, it went from $1,900 to $1,500. Holy day. What a discount.
They started about $1,300 in the upper deck in the corners, and now those are around $2,000. So that's the cheapest.
You hit your head on the roof.
Right.
It's going to cost you and your other $3,000 to get in. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be serious. I thought it'd be about $700 to get in, $750.
Well, you got 2 fan bases that haven't been there in a little while.
Travel.
Ohio State's been there, obviously in the game, but to win one, it's been about 10 years. And Notre Dame, wow,
Man.
And those are the biggest fan bases in the country, whether you like them, hate them. That's probably why people hate them, because they're everywhere. So
they travel. Yeah. And I'm going to give Notre Dame credit. When they played Alabama in Orange, I thought it was probably 80% Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, I mean
they're
just as
fans.
big as Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Catholics everywhere. People pull for Notre Dame just by being Catholic. So
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with
Nothing.
that? No. I thought I heard it. Did you hear it? I thought I heard it.
I thought I heard it.
I heard a little bit. A little bit.
I went to Catholic school when I was younger, so I have a love-hate relationship there.
You're okay.
So did I.
I did First Communion and all.
For 7 years.
Yeah.
Were you Catholic?
You've known me for almost 40 years. Yes, Scooter.
Oh, that's what that holy water's for. I didn't know what you were throwing on me for.
It didn't do any good, obviously. It didn't take.
Right.
It turned into flames. It burns!
It bounced
It
off. Demons out.
Demons come out. And there's angels up on you, man.
I like those churches we went to, kissing the rattlesnakes, holding the rattlesnakes, loving the rattlesnakes.
Speaking in tongues.
Speaking in tongues.
We shouldn't make fun of anybody's religion. So.
Jeremy, I hope's not listening. No, I love that man. But anyway, again, we're going. What are we doing? Tell us about the competition, the Orlando competition.
All you got to do is, it's pretty easy. First, you got to go and download the app, the ESPN Northwest Florida app. And then it'll ask you, click on contest. It'll ask you email address so we can get a hold of you and tell you if you won or not, and your phone number and stuff like that. But what you're going to do is Hall and Hearts and ESPN, the Magic Express are going to give 2 passes to, we're going to give away several pairs of 2 passes. I guess I should be clear on that because there'll be more than just a few people going. 2 passes for you and a friend to go to see the Orlando Magic host the Sacramento Kings on Saturday, March the 29th. You'll get to watch the game from a luxury suite, and I'm talking about leather seating, your own bathroom, your own refrigerator. It's absolutely pure luxury, and you'll get free food during the game. And then after the game, instead of taking that long drive back home on a very, very comfortable Hall and Hearts bus, you get to stay in a hotel. And you can kind of take in all the sights and sounds of Orlando, Florida after the game. And then the next day you get to come home if you behave yourself. And we want to thank PCB Hobby and Panama City Toyota and Hall and Hearts, of course, Fairfield and Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites because they're the ones that help us put all this together. It is a fun time. It's exciting to watch a game live. Even if you're not a basketball fan, it was still pretty exciting to go. So go download the app and click on Enter Contest and see what happens.
I want to give a shout out to Joseph down at Toyota, Panama City Toyota.
Yeah.
We're down there yesterday. Took Jamie's car down there, had it changed, bought some tires, some Michelin tires. They do an incredible job. Joseph, love you. You always treat us right. Toyota, I've bought so many cars from them, it's incredible. And we went to a place in Birmingham. This is how they treat women up there. You know how kind of a man's world? Yeah. Jamie went up to a really high-end Infiniti dealership up there. What is it? Yeah. And her oil change, she took her car to get the oil change. She calls it, Dad, they want to charge me $900.
Whoa.
What?
I'll do
what? I had to get on the phone with the people. And said she wants her oil changed. No, don't worry about what's wrong. There was nothing wrong. Right. And I said, I'm not going to tell you the name of the dealership. It's in Birmingham, but it's next to a pretty famous head football coach's establishment. Anyway, I said, we will never go back there. She did pay way too much. They did rip her. And then they called and apologized. We thought, no. I said, don't ever go back there. Yeah, it's...
We thought we needed to charge you 3 times the amount to change your oil.
Yeah, we thought we needed to overhaul the engine, but we were wrong.
Well, the only reason they even considered, what they did is because they found out where she worked. She worked for the biggest station in Alabama, and I know who that is. She does the sports. I know who
Daddy Warbucks was.
She's got a lot of
the Hale name.
Yeah. They knew
900
That's
from
what
him.
did it.
I almost called Trump on it. I mean, hey, Donald, we got some problems here. But anyway, they do such a great job down at Toyota. I got to give a shout out to those people, and I love Joseph does a really fine job. I like all the people who work down in the shop.
I need to go talk to him.
John,
take my Jeep from me. Give me a Civic.
I tell you, man.
I mean, a Camry.
They've got
those Camrys get like 60 miles to the gallon. That's what I need right now.
Yeah, the Camrys are not. Everything down there is really good. And what you like about it, you get up every day, you turn it on and crank it, it works, it runs, and you can put 200,000 miles plus on those things. All you got to do is keep the oil
Toyotas
change.
are great cars.
They really are, and we got great people down there. John has sold me and Tommy Santamont so many cars, it's unbelievable.
Yours looks brand new.
Yeah,
you parked next to me, and I accidentally hit your door with mine.
That's okay.
I didn't even die.
Hey, let me just read this to you. Real quick. What about the weather? What's the chances of snow?
It was saying that last night when I last looked at it, Tuesday and Wednesday, a 30% chance of precipitation in the form of snow.
Yeah.
And so I think it was 2004 or 2006 the last time we had snow here.
Jason, when was it?
Probably about then. That at least hit the ground and stuck on the ground a little bit.
Yeah. 2001 Miami football team, they had 41 players make it to the NFL. 38 were drafted, 17 were first-round picks, 46 Pro Bowlers, 25 All-Pro selections, 2 Hall of Famers.
47 of them lost.
Didn't Ohio State beat that team?
Yes.
2002.
In 02?
02, okay. But I guess the 01 team was the national champs.
They were national champs.
Who did they beat was it Penn State? No, they lost that game.
No.
Was it?
Who did they beat 2000?
I can't. Oklahoma, maybe?
Yeah, maybe
probably.
Oklahoma or Nebraska, maybe. I can't remember.
One of those. Probably Oklahoma.
Those were the 2 most talented teams. Ohio State, nobody gave them a shot in that game. They just came in there after Tressel had, took it over. And
wasn't there a pass interference play called?
Don't start with that.
What's it? I mean, wasn't Miami robbed?
No.
Yeah, of course they were. No. Ohio State sucks, and they're just lucky you can field the team.
It just means more.
It just means more.
That was a great game, though. It was Maurice Clarett came in as a freshman.
Was that the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I remember watching it.
But they had a lot of good defenders on that team. I think A.J. Houck was a freshman.
If you watch that game, 2 of the best hits in the game, one by Jonathan Vilma for Miami and one from Wilhelm for Ohio State. If they did that today, they'd have been thrown out of the game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about face-to-face, body-on-body, 100 miles an hour, full. Wow.
And you want to talk about Travis Hunter, the original 2-way guy was Chris Gamble, and he just locked down Andre Davis in that game. Andre Davis was a freak. He was a Jeremiah Smith clone, but he was a junior in that game, ready to go to the NFL. I think he had like 3 or 4 catches for like 65 yards in that game. And Gamble actually...
Andre Johnson.
Yeah, Andre Johnson. So what did I say? James?
Davis.
Okay. Yeah, Andre Johnson, one of the best receivers in NFL history. I mean, just a
Wilson
total freak.
McGahee.
Yeah.
Miami was loaded.
That's when his knee got folded over. That was a gruesome injury there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But they had some tough kids on that Ohio State team.
Who was the quarterback of the Buckeyes when they beat Miami?
Craig Krenzel.
That was the holy Buckeye. I think Ohio State won 8 games within 7 points that year. Every game was a dogfight.
Yeah.
But Tressel used to say, you don't need to be the best team in the country. You just need to be the best team in the stadium every week. So
I will never forget the first time I ever saw Ohio State live. They were playing Alabama in the Citrus Bowl. 2 things I'll never forget the game. Shaq was on the sidelines.
And you didn't know who he was.
We were there.
He didn't know who he was. He's 7'10".
You ain't going to believe this guy on the sideline.
Who's that big guy, Jim Bob?
Who's that offensive tackle for Ohio State that's not dressed?
What NFL team does he play for?
He's a wideout.
He's a monster. It was Shaq. And he was pulling for Bama, by the way.
Probably.
But it was weird. Everybody was following him around. The local media, everybody's following him around. The guy... He's got a great personality.
He really does. Him and Charles Barkley on TNT pregame show. That's one of the best, sports shows on television, just for the entertainment value. And I don't even watch the NBA anymore.
Warm-ups. I looked at Ohio State and said, we're going to get killed. That was the biggest football team. Who was that? They had a lineman.
Probably Orlando Pace, Corey Stringer.
Yeah, they were monsters.
The Charles Bentley.
George was the running back.
Eddie George.
Eddie George was the running back. Was it Hurstrey the quarterback?
No, Bobby Horning.
Okay, but they had a really good receiver.
Probably David Boston, maybe, or Joey Galloway.
That's right. It was Joey
They were
Galloway.
loaded on offense. They were loaded.
We saw all those guys you see on TV now. We saw them in person.
That may have been Big Daddy Wilkinson.
94?
94?
Like that.
Yeah. This is no lie. They had the coaching box, okay? And we had done a show on Fox TV down there called The End Zone or Skybox, something. We did every Sunday night talking about college football. So they would let me go to any bowl game I wanted to go to, and I wanted to go to that bowl game. So Julie and I had sideline passes. Jared was up in the stands, I think with Scott Shepard, Eric, and Jim and Judy were there. Well, Gene Stallings was bent over on his knees, and they were down there, and they were getting ready to kick a field goal or something. And I'll never forget, he looked over there, and I was this close to him, but he was on the box. I was outside the box. We're on the sideline, and I was just looking at him, Gene Stallings. And he goes just like this. He turns and he looks, and our eyes met. And I know he was thinking like,
Who the heck is this guy?
Who is this guy? What is he doing down here? But anyway,
I can't say what I want to say. What I'm thinking.
I want to go hug him.
He was Connor Stallions for them.
Yeah.
He's calling in the plays.
But I love that.
Hey, Connor, what do you got? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this Ohio State team's big. If you see them in person, just with their wide receivers, tight ends, when they walk on the field.
I didn't realize how big the quarterback was.
Jeremiah Smith is legit 6'4". Like, when you watch him, because what I do is I look at him compared to the offensive lineman, then I look at him compared to the defensive back. He's like a foot taller than these defensive backs.
It's funny you say that because I was watching, I think it was the Big Ten Network, and they had a replay of the game of Texas.
Yeah.
And after the game, they showed Sawyer, who's like a legit every bit of 6'5", and Will Howard, and they're eyeball to eyeball.
Oh, yeah.
People don't realize how big Will Howard. That's why I was so upset. You know, you got a 6'5" quarterback who weighs 235 pounds. You can't stop him for 1 yard for a quarterback sneak. You can't. It's impossible.
No, but if you pitch it out wide.
Tall, sweet.
We're going to toss the ball.
Both those coaches' dads had some errors in that game. I'll say that. It was neither one of them's A game, but you got to win without your A game sometimes.
We talking about A game? You talking about the best? Let's talk about Max Fit Sports Nutrition. That's the best.
Yeah, so we're selling a lot of BPC right now. I know we've been talking about it a lot, but I wouldn't talk about it if I didn't believe in it. You know, if you have any cartilage injuries or, you know, connective tissue, muscle, bones, ligaments, arthritis, BPC can help you. Stomach issues, I know it sounds crazy that it heals all these different things, but man, it is amazing for your stomach as well. And there is science behind it. We actually produce it in our stomach, so it's not something toxic to the body, but it really does help with healing. Also, if you're getting up there in age like I am, and you don't want to get on TRT a little bit too soon, I got some really good natural test boosters. If you want to feel younger, just get more energy, have more sex drive, just feel like you're
have more what?
20s again.
Wildcat, calm down. He's got his billfold out.
Give me don't realize the side effects you can have if you do have low T. That's something that you do need to, you know, take and take seriously, because you can have a lot of issues if you do have low T. So we do have some really good test boosters down there. You know, our multivitamins, greens. We still got our high school stat, the complete mass, K4 creatine, and our sport formula multivitamin. We've had a ton of kids and parents come in and get that this off season. So, but we're in Del Coronado Village on 23rd Street. We have our InBody 570. Kids can come in there and use that to track the results. And we're in Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods.
Right here, I saw Chris Smith weather.
And we'll be at Arnold tonight to watch the Bay High Arnold game and watch this man who deserves a tremendous amount of, you know, respect. And
I heard I'm going to give the introduction speech. That's what I heard.
This is my introduction speech. I'm practicing.
You won't get it after I'm done.
Wildcat's going to...
Going into the Hall of Fame.
Wildcat's going to be my golden robe.
Wait a minute. I thought it was a roast.
It is. It is. Don't let them lie to you.
They're having the lights turned down, have the spotlight out.
Having the robe.
Play Elvis's In It.
Sit your mason jar right there.
I'm going to do a little James Brown. That's what.
Come in like Elvis, gosh.
If you don't come out to It's a Man's World, then this is going to be totally disappointing.
I know. That's what I want. The European Mile right now, this is by Chris Smith, 50-50 chance, at least some kind of snow next Tuesday. 50-50 chance. When's the last time we had a 50-50
So that means you don't
chance?
need to come to work if it snows on Tuesday.
Oh, man, I used to walk through the snow, okay? Back and
both
forth.
ways, bare feet.
Yeah.
He's escaping north, though, this
2
time.
3 miles.
He's going to go to Tennessee and escape the 10-degree weather to go to 2-degree weather.
Oh, we got to take a... do you just want to go now? I didn't know it was this late. We're going to take a break. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the College Football National Championship.
75 yards. Wow.
It's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Pick 6. Rolling.
Listen live in ultra-high fidelity. Coverage starts Monday at 6, kickoff at 6:30. Right here on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. For this afternoon and evening, mostly sunshine and a high of 63 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Tonight, a mixture of very light showers and mostly clouds with lows around 55. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning followed by sprinkles and a temperature near 68. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Appreciate you listening this morning. Hey, J. Michael's Restaurant, world famous J. Michael's Restaurant. Chris Fish's special day is incredible. Grilled fish over peppers, with peppers, onions over bed of rice. Special sauce. Go check it out. You'll love it. The best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael. South Oak Title and Closing, Stevenson Air Conditioning. And we got to talk later about the newest restaurant, the Local 115 in downtown historical Panama City. But right now, let's bring on Matt. Matt, we got Matt on the phone. The head basketball coach at Bozeman. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Hey, guys. Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to thank you so much. I know you're busy. We appreciate you taking time out to visit with us. We've, we took a couple weeks off. We still dealing with college football, but we want to get the basketball coaches on and talk about your basketball program. Before we get into talking about Bozeman, give us a little rundown, your history. Where'd you play ball at? Where'd you coach at? And how'd you wind up at Bozeman?
Yep, I actually played at Covenant back in the day, and then finished out my senior year at Bozeman when Coach Midman, who's at Bay, was the coach at Bozeman.
Oh, wow.
A couple years later, he asked me to come on and be his JV coach. Coached under him for a few years, and then coached under Tony Davis, and then I got the head coaching job at Bozeman, and this will be my 5th year.
5th year, wow. Hey, you'll probably like this. I was just looking on Facebook, and I saw a legend picture. It's a picture of Coach Patton and a beautiful young lady. And what's it like working with somebody with his stature? I mean, this guy is the best at whatever he does. Does that help you? Does that hurt you with him being the AD and the head baseball coach?
Oh, Coach Patton is phenomenal to work with. Like I said, you said it correctly. Absolute legend. I don't think there's any coach in this area that's done what he's done for so many years. Just having someone like that to always go to, talk to. So many times he's like, I should charge you for coaching advice. Luckily, he gives it to me for free.
Yeah, there's a picture of him on the beach that says, perfect company, perfect day. I wish Coach Hale was with me. So I appreciate him saying that, but it's a great picture of him and his beautiful wife. What, Jason? No. Anyway, hey, what's going on at Bozeman? How's the year been going? And tell us who some of your finer players are, who your leaders are. People love hearing their name on the radio, so please talk about as many kids as you would like.
Absolutely. We're coming off of last year, 23-3, first-time district champions. We graduated most of our seniors. That was a very senior-heavy group. 2 of the main guys they brought back that were a key part of last year's team were Jamie Hernandez, team captain. He's been part of Bozeman actually since kindergarten. Kind of a crazy thing about Bozeman that you can go there all the way through. So he's been a buck, been part of the program since 6th grade playing JV. He's had a phenomenal year, had a big game last night. And then Zach Flitcraft, you'll see at the Diamond, pitched down in the state championship game last year. Junior, that was a big part of our team last year. Again, he had a great night as well. Flies all over the floor. Those are the two guys that came back. Let's say we graduated most of them, but we got a couple additions this year. They have really stepped up. A name you might recognize, played over at Mosley last year, is Cash Circle, running the point for us. He's having a great year. All three of the guys I just mentioned, I believe, are all, I don't have it in front of me, but around 15 points a game. So any night, any one of those three can really bring it. Those guys can get you at all three levels from the three and then get to the rim. They all play great defense. So we really hang our hat on those three. A couple of other guys we got, Zach Wiesa, Alex Conjure, a couple guards, solid, good from the three-point line, really good at getting into our stuff. And then Colton McClelland, big man for us. He's actually broke the record for touchdowns at Bozeman this year in football. He's over helping us on the basketball side as well, being the big. Came up with some solid big shots late against Arnold the other day when we knocked them off. Those six have really been some of the big key contributors to us this year.
Coach, I know your football team moved up in classification this year. What classification are you guys, and who's all in your district this year?
Yes, we've moved up as well. We've been 1A the last couple of years. We've moved up to 3A. So our district is South Walton, Freeport, who also moved up, Pensacola Catholic, and then locally Rutherford and North Bay Haven.
Okay.
It's a pretty tough district right there.
Definitely.
It's a big one. It's a big one, a tough one. Lots of really good teams. District tournament play starts in just a couple weeks, so we're excited for it.
How many games have you guys played? What's your record right now?
17, 10-7.
Nice. Good job.
Lost a tough one last night up in Shipley. Went to overtime.
Tough place to play.
Tough place, but great environment. They had the band going, packed the house.
Wow, nice.
Went on a run, went to overtime. A couple of our key guys fouled out and just, was there. We just didn't get it done. But great environment, great place. Shipley's a phenomenal basketball team. That's one, as we're getting ready for the district tournament, those are the games you got to go play on the road in those great environments, because that's going to be how our district tournament's going to be satellite, so highest seed host. Okay. So it's very likely we'll be going to a South Walton or a Pensacola Catholic or a Walton, but you're going to have a great environment there as well.
Is Matt Anderson still over at Walton County?
He is. He is. He's the coach for Walton.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, hey, let me ask you this. What's your take on, when I ask all the coaches, I know now, which I don't understand it, I can't even comprehend it, you're in a district, but you don't have to play each other during the season. You play a tournament at the end. In the old days, you would play your district teams in football once, and the top two teams, well, back when we did it, the top team got to go on to state playoffs, and then it changed that the runners-up would go play. And if you won your district, you were rewarded by hosting a first-round state playoff game at home. What do you like the way it is in basketball, where you guys you really don't have to schedule your district opponents until the very end, correct?
No, you do not have to schedule your district. This year was unique. It took the FHA a while to get out the actual district, so a lot of schedules are already made. Actually, they even moved the season 1 week earlier, so a lot of teams in the area had to almost completely re-finagle their schedules to get them in, so our district tournament's actually a week earlier. As for the way we play it now, I would like to think that if you win your district, you should deserve a home playoff game.
Yes.
It's tough to win them, especially if you got 7 teams in a district. And I have a unique perspective on that too, because historically it's district winner, district runner-up for the sport of basketball that got in. So 3 years ago we lost in the district semifinals, but we got in on rankings. And then the very next year we made it all the way to the district championship, lost by 1 overtime, and we're the district runner-up and we're left out. So both ways, but then obviously from our side we would have liked to have got in both years. I see the point if you have weaker districts and, not just automatically letting a district runner-up in. But like my assistant coach, Dubrell, says that usually your district winner and district runner-ups are some of the hottest teams in basketball, which are ones you generally want to see in the playoffs. So I kind of see it from both sides.
Do you think that devalues the regular season, being that you don't even have to play your district and you can just win the tournament and move on? I mean, it seems like it would deem the regular season a little bit not as important. I would love to see a scenario where they would actually make the regular season district champions an automatic seed in the tournament.
Now, that would be something very interesting where you have, I think that's what the idea of the rankings was.
Right.
Is to value the regular season because that's saying every single game counts.
Yes.
Now, on the other side, it's kind of unfortunate that what the rankings being a computer system don't see is when you played this game, did you have some kids out? Now, we've had a couple games this year where we've had some key contributors out, and it just all gets counted the same.
Yeah.
So, in theory, every game matters. But as we also know, a computer system can't really evaluate what's happening on a night-to-night basis with teams. And especially if you're a school that has football going far in the playoffs, you potentially could play 5 and 6 games without 5 and 6 guys. And those games are going to be counted against your chance to make the playoffs. So the idea of getting every game to count makes sense, but I don't know what the answer is, but it's hard when it's a computer system calculating it for you.
Right, that makes sense.
Coach, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We'll call you next Friday if you don't mind. You can give us a rundown what's happened the previous week, and good luck to you this week. Thank you again for coming on. I know you're busy, and we appreciate you spending time with us.
Not a problem. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Good luck, Coach.
All right, let's talk about some of our great peoples. We mentioned Jamie Michaels. We mentioned South Oton Clothing, Stevenson Air Conditioning. But I tell you what, Kyle Vandergrift does a great job. He's got some partners down there, wonderful people. You know, the Vandergrift families are a legendary family here. His mom and dad, what they've done is incredible. The lives they've touched throughout the years is unbelievable. You couldn't count how many people they've helped in their lives.
Touch me with some oysters and beer right now. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. We got to wait for lunch or dinner.
Oh, shoot.
The local 115 downtown historical Panama City. It will open up. We're hoping it's going to be the 24th. We'll give you more information as we go.
Oh, nice.
I can't
close.
wait. It's summertime. I don't like fighting the traffic going to Pier Park, so we always go downtown and go to the market, walk down the main street, and look at guns. We do a lot of great things down there. But now, this is where we'll be eating lunch. It's going to be open for lunch and dinner. It's an oyster bar. But with a sports theme. They've got pictures down there of all the different schools, the history of the different schools. So if you're an old timer, you walk in there, you'll probably see a picture of yourself or your name or something. It's really cool what they're doing.
Plus, it's a little bit healthier food, so you can eat it a little bit
healthier
more
choice. Yeah. Oysters, crab cakes, steamed seafood, gumbo soup, salads, wings, ice cold beer, wine. Nothing fried. A healthier option. Lunch and dinner. Local. 115.
Can't wait.
Cannot wait. I think the first lunch is on Jason. I cannot wait till we go. Jim, you coming? He said
I'll bite that off. I'm excited for it to open, so we'll go down there and I'll pay for it this first time. As long as you don't get me back for that, J. Michael.
I got it recorded.
Yeah. I was hungry.
Wildcat said he's going to.
That's all right.
You know what? That was fine because all the great things you have done. This is like Dr. Chad Mitchell, a legendary doctor. 25 years he's been on the Bay County sidelines. The guy's incredible. People come from all around just to have him operate on him. He does it the new way, the robotic surgery. He does it the old-fashioned way. The guy's incredible. Listen to him every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. That Cajun place, that'd be a great place to go watch the National Championship game. Go watch the NFL playoff games. Go have a great time at the Cajun place. They do an incredible job. Saw Jay and Trudy the other day. They're looking great. Love Rick. One of my former players runs it down there. Does a great job. Also, don't forget about Dr. Ward. 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. It can be deadly. We'll have him on next Wednesday at 7:30. Looking forward to that. Seriously, women, the number two top things they get. Number 1, skin cancer. Number 2, breast cancer.
Yeah.
Go get it checked. Don't put it off. 5 minutes can save your life. And make sure you go with the best. And that's Dr. Ward office throughout the Panhandle of Florida.
We got to go see him, too.
We'll be right back. We're going to kick back the FSU update to 7:45. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the College Football National Championship.
75 yards. Wow.
It's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Rolling. Listen live in ultra-high fidelity. Coverage starts Monday at 6, kickoff at 6:30. Right here on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Construction is wrapping up on Panama City's newest Oyster Bar, the Local 115. Opening soon on Harrison Avenue. Local drinks, local sports, and local food. Delicious oysters, crab cakes, steamed seafood, gumbos, salads, paninis, wings, wine, and cold beer. Nothing fried. That's right, no fried foods at Local 115. Amazing local food with an exciting local sports and mural theme. Eat like a local at the Local 115.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
The Women's Civic Club of Panama City Beach is celebrating 60 years of caring and sharing in our community with the Diamond Jubilee Gala Dance and Charity Auction. Come out, mingle with friends, dance to great music, bid on fun auctions, and support a worthy cause. The Diamond Jubilee Gala Dance and Charity Auction is Saturday, February 1st from 6 until 10 at the Boardwalk Beach Hotel and Convention Center, 9600 South Thomas Drive. For details, visit the Women's Civic Club, WCCPCB.org.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending. Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Yesterday we talked about today. Wildcat, you're going to be there tonight?
Going to be there tonight.
Jason's going to be there tonight.
Yeah.
Jim's going to be there tonight. They're doing the Hall of Fame. 3 people have been put into it, the first class at Arnold. And yesterday I got, I think, some people. But today I waited for today. I didn't mention any coaches, thanking any coaches. When you win an award as a head football coach, you don't do the hard work. The people that actually do all the hard work and are 90% of their responsibilities is why you're successful are your coaches. This one beside me, since 1990, I've worked with him. One of the most talented, one of the most smartest, hard-working guys I've ever been around. And I couldn't believe it when they hired us at Cape Coral. They hadn't had a winning season in 10 years. I met with all the different coaches. I met with Jim, and when I heard what his responsibilities were, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And the more I was around him, we promoted him every year up. And the more we did, the more we won. And he was our defensive coordinator. We were the best team they ever had at Cape Coral. We were 10-1. How many we win? 11, 12?
12-1.
12-1. Had a great football team.
Still kills me to this day.
Yeah, we let one slip away. But anyway, it is what it is. We over 5 years with him doing it, I think we won 42 games.
Wow.
Well, they hadn't won any in 10 years.
Right.
So he did an unbelievable job as defensive coordinator. He helped with the the summer workouts, really a lot. We used to drive. We had 3 coaches had conversion vans. I had one. Jim had one. Scott. This is how stupid we were.
HR department, please don't listen. This is a long time ago.
We would drive across the bridge into Fort Myers where our zone was, where our players, we would pick up our players, load up in the van, bring them back to Cape Coral.
Tell people about how far that was. That was about a half hour one way. About a half hour.
Wow. We did that all summer long.
All summer.
For years.
Yeah.
And they never did in the past. The kids that lived on Cape, they could get there.
Right.
But the ones that didn't have a bus or a car or whatever, we'd go get them. And
different world.
We got stronger, we got faster, we got better every single year. Sky Shepard was with us in 1990 also. They both came up here from Cape Coral. We had great coaches down there. Billy Brooks. Billy's not with us anymore. He died. David Brooks, Doc Holliday. We had great coaches there. He helped me get in the Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
He comes up here. He was our defensive coordinator here. And another thing people don't realize, and they don't give him any credit because they don't remember things like this. We started the weightlifting team. You're in weightlifting. You know, it takes you, your freshman class, 3-4 years to get bigger and stronger. As you go, you get bigger and you get stronger. Well, I think it was our 4th year we won our first national state championship.
Well, I wasn't there, so it would have been at least four or five.
So he started the weightlifting program at Arnold High School, kind of like Phil Cobb did at Lake Wales way back in the 70s. And I won the state championship in weightlifting there, gave it to the assistant coaches after that. He got it going here, yet the first one to ever get the state championship was Bill, right?
Yep.
Bill. And it's like they forget about all the work that beforehand to get them where they're at.
Yeah.
And Jim should get a lot of credit for that. He was our defense coordinator. I think one year we gave up the entire, how many points?
50.
50 points the entire
50.
year.
Oh, wow.
And 49 to Wakulla in the playoffs.
Now we had a linebacker that ran like a 4.4 that went to Troy.
We moved our free safety to linebacker. That kind of made a difference. You couldn't outrun him.
Frankie Verasso, I think, was another linebacker on that team. We had some really good players.
Good high school players.
Scott Shepard was up here for that one. Dennis Bush did a great job for us. Coach Cox has passed away. He did an unbelievable job for us. Bill Thomas did a great job. There's so many of them. Dennis Bush, there's so many of those guys that worked so hard, put the time in you wouldn't believe. And all the assistant coaches, they solve a lot of the problems, a lot of issues you have with the players. And the head coach gets a lot of credit when you win. They probably get too much credit or too much negativism when you lose. Blame when you lose. But the assistant coaches are with their position groupings, and when you have a problem, they're usually ones that solve all the issues before it even gets to the head coach. And when it does, they usually say, make sure you get this worked out. So you couldn't win without great coaches. And they, again, the only reason I've been successful is the great people I've had around me. Jeff Skipper, all those guys that we've had down there. It's incredible. And did I leave out anybody? There's so many. Oh, I tell you another one I loved that did a great job for us was Chris Lee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Doug Lee's brother. Yeah.
He was a heck of a coach.
Yeah, he was.
Baseball, football. He could coach anything. That guy was incredible. Hard worker, disciplined. We had so many good people there.
The thing, thank you for all the compliments and everything, but the thing that you did that I've been around this a long time, you have to believe in something.
Right.
Okay? And you got to stick with it. And that's what James Hale did. He believed in whatever that. Well, whether you agree with it didn't matter. This is what we're doing, and we're not going to deviate from it. And the temptation as a coach is, the more time you get, you want to start tinkering and change things, and that's not James Hale.
Yeah,
it's the same stuff we ran in 1990 at Cape Coral. It's the same stuff we ran at Arnold High School in 2004.
Right.
It's the same exact offense. Everything was the same. It never changed.
And if you execute, it works.
So consequently, your kids get. I remember when on Cape Coral, and after we won our first playoff game, we shut out Jupiter High School. And that's the only time I ever got interviewed down there. And they said, well, why's your defense so good? And I said, well, number one is it's the same kids, and it's the same system.
Yeah.
And after like 3 years, they kind of look at you like, why are you doing this? We ought to do this. And they understand what it is. And it's because it's not what I know. It's what do they know?
Right,
and how can they apply it to what they're seeing? That's what coaching is all about. Put your information in them and let them do it. And that was one of the best things that James Hale ever did. It never changed.
Yeah.
Lifting weights is another one. That's what used to irritate me so much when we got up here. Oh, you guys are doing steroids. No, we're not. We're lifting weights every single day for an hour and a half. So you can't tell me that in 90 minutes every day, all season, you're not going to get better, you're not going to get stronger. That's not on us. That's on you guys because you don't do that.
I laugh when I hear that because kids at that age have optimal hormone levels, have optimal testosterone levels, have optimal HGH levels. They don't need steroids. They just need the food and the work ethic. Right. And if you have that combination, if you're pushing them in the weight room and they're recovering and eating correctly, they're going to grow at that age. It's just really hard to find the calorie intake when you got hard gainers like that to be able to hit those calories that you really are going to grow. But we hear that a lot with some of the kids we work with too, because if you do nail that food intake, you're going to grow.
I think the greatest thing we did from Lake Wales to Cape Coral to Panama City Beach or Arnold High School, nobody was going to outwork us in the weight room. And we did I'll never forget our first year at Southern Mississippi. We got beat by BYU 69-19. Pat died. East Carolina beat us 35-7. Alabama beat us. Auburn beat us. Everybody beat us. We were terrible. The winter workouts, we learned what it meant to work. Half the team quit. They tried to run us out of there and get new people in. And the ones that stayed, all those guys that stayed, there weren't many of them, but all of them have been successful at life. We did that exact same workout, probably not to that extreme, the running part anyway, at every school we're at. And we were going to tell you something. We can do a little bit about making you a little bit faster. We can make you quicker. But the speed thing is kind of natural.
Yeah.
But one thing we can do, we can make you stronger than anybody you play. You might not be as tall, you might not be as heavy, but you're going to be able to lift as much. And we used to kill those kids in the weight room.
Yeah.
And they knew it. They worked their tails off, and they could see themselves getting bigger and stronger. And we actually didn't really change the workout much.
No.
We got that from Nebraska way back in the day. We did a pyramid chart workout, and it worked.
It works.
It worked.
And I remember, I don't know if I ever told you this, but somewhere along the line when I came up here, at that time, Mickey Lindsay at Pace High School was one of the V teams. And I saw him at a coaching clinic. I just introduced myself. I said, Coach, we're starting a brand new school. I don't want to sound racist. We're going to have a lot of white kids, like you have at Pace. We're not going to have all those sprinter athletes. We're not going to have them.
Right.
He goes, get them in a weight room, have them live there, and if you do that long enough, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
And that was our thing. That was our secret.
There's no better metaphor for life than the weight room because it's hard.
Yeah.
You have to show up every single day. It's nothing.
It's a lifelong activity.
Absolutely. And if you don't dedicate yourself there, you're never going to get the results. So people ask me why I still lift. I'm 48 years old. Well, because every day I want to get up and challenge myself, and I want to make sure I'm healthier and still moving and getting around. And it's hard, and it allows me when I get up for work. It's easy to get up for work. It's easy to do the other things because I've already pushed myself at a certain extent. I see you in there every day. I know it doesn't feel good every day. You don't have 100% every day. You don't feel like your best, but if you're getting in there consistently, it's a metaphor.
You can tell the truth. You see me talking a lot.
I'm like, sir, this is not for a texting machine.
He came to me. He goes, "It's not a chair." So sorry. I gotta go quick. I talked about him yesterday. You should have seen him.
Talking about him working
That's
out.
the first time I'd seen him after he pumped a little bit. I saw his back, and he had a sweatshirt. You could see the muscles ripped through his shirt in the back on a sweatshirt. I said, "Golly, Jason, you look really good." I said, "I can still whip you, but you look really good."
Was Manley in there? Was Manley lifting?
No, Manley wasn't there. Bless his heart. I could
Manley
never
was
say that
sitting
about
on the workbench right next to the coach.
There was no muscles in Glenn's back. I'm telling you right now, none. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents
Wrestling Against Cancer.
Live men's and women's professional wrestling returns to Panama City on Saturday, February 8th at the Bay Charter Academy.
Come see the most exciting professional wrestling on the Panhandle.
Wrestling Against Cancer number 10. Proceeds go toward Ryan Holland's cancer expenses. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
More information, ESPNPC.com.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. For this afternoon and evening, mostly sunshine and a high of 63 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Tonight, a mixture of very light showers and mostly clouds with lows around 55. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning followed by sprinkles and a temperature near 68. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! FSU Update is brought to you by the one and only Newbies. We both saw John the other day and talked to him.
Yeah.
You talking about somebody else that's built? That sucker's 62 years old. That blows my mind.
That does too.
He looks like he's 40.
He's younger than both of us.
Yeah, and, you know, he told me, but I never see him lifting in the gym, really. I always see him playing racquetball, steam room, stuff like that. But he's bought some weights and machines, and he keeps them at the house. So he is lifting. But he looks really good. And where does he get all this stuff? Max Fit Sports Nutrition.
He's going to come down there. We did talk yesterday. He's going to come down and see me. We talked a little bit about some products and stuff that he's been researching. So definitely going to work with him and get him on the right track and have some of these new products that we've been talking about, some of the BPCs and stuff that we've been telling everybody about. He's an old athlete. He's got some old injuries and stuff like that he wants to clear up. So those are definitely things that can help.
I forgot, too, one of our greatest, Coach Boulware. I forgot about Coach Boulware. I love that man.
Boulware, yeah.
He played at Southern Mississippi. Played
at Rutherford.
What a
great guy.
Great man. Great Christian man.
Yeah, him and his brother Marcus played over there at Rutherford. Yeah. Really fast because they actually played junior Major League Baseball with my brother, and my stepfather was the coach at the time. So I actually knew them pretty well. But really good guys, man. Really,
he
good.
went up to Coach Boulware went up to Alabama and coached at a private school in Montgomery for years.
Oh, really?
And then he was the head coach at Graceful. I think it was Graceful. And I think somebody says he's back in Bay County. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I hadn't seen him in a while. But
he's a good guy.
Man, he's a wonderful person. All right, let's get into FSU Update brought to you by Newbies. Jim Bob, what you got for us?
Well, Florida State's going through this is the year of changes for them. You know, they go from 13 wins to 2 wins. That's a change. Then you got new coaches. You got Gus in there. You got a new defensive coordinator. You got new players. They're changing the roster, the whole shebang. It seems like more things change, the more, everything's changing. Another change, they got to change the stadium, too. They got to fix the stadium, too. I forgot about that. Well, that kind of leads into what I'm going to say. They usually have their spring showcase, which is kind of like a spring football game per se, but they didn't really have a game. It was just kind of like drills and stuff and a little bit of competition. Well, they're not doing that this year. So this year, in April, I think it is, they're not going to have any kind of spring showcase. They're not going to have a spring game because Doak Campbell's not finished. I don't know if you guys talked about this before or not. If you did, I'm sorry.
Hold your thoughts.
Okay.
Let's take it. Good morning.
Well, good morning. I just wanted to call and tell you that congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And
you don't even know who this is.
Who is this?
My God, you've been working for me for 7 years, and you don't even know who I am.
Oh, Randy! I'm sorry.
Good Lord.
It sounded like Elvis Presley. I'm sorry. Thank you so much, man.
Brother. Listen. I've got a ton of stuff to do this weekend, so I won't be able to make it, but I definitely wanted to call and tell you congratulations, and certainly well deserved. I mean, when they put your record on the announcement, I was like, he won that many games.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It's stunning to believe.
Hey, I want to say something.
Must have had some good players.
Brandy, I got to say something. I will never forget 7, 8 years ago, whatever it's been now. I was in J. Michael's restaurant. We were working from Destin to Mobile or Pensacola, and I forgot the number. That it was with Ron Hale, and I forgot the name. Scott Rossman did it, and then Scott got out in his S. Strickland. A good-looking guy walks up and goes, "Are you Coach Hale?" I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Well, let me ask you." At first, I said,
"No, you didn't say that. You didn't say yes, sir. You said, does he owe you money?"
I did. I said, "Does he owe you money, Coach Hale?" He goes, "No." I said, well, "That's me." But I met Randy Williams for the first time. We sat and had lunch, had a great time. And he talked about what he was going to do, his vision, what he was going to do. I said, man, that sounds pretty good. So we went to work with Randy, and how it's changed my life is unbelievable. Working for ESPN, working from him, It's been unbelievable, great ride, and really, it's changed my life. It's been.
It's grown so
People
much.
how? Yeah, you've been with us. You were with us on the other station for those 9 years. How it's grown is crazy. How the station's grown.
Yeah, because we actually had that little portable radio
box. It didn't work.
It didn't work. There was one station that drowned us out.
Not from nuts.
And then I built you guys this luxurious studio.
Oh my God, man, we're not.
Unbelievable. Isn't it?
Professional here.
And we got Wildcat working for us. I mean, the people you hire is unbelievable. You know what you're doing.
Everything right.
I get no love.
When are you heading out to? When are you heading out to DC?
That'll be. I'll fly out Sunday, and then I'll come back on Tuesday. Hopefully, it won't be too cold up there.
Yeah. Well, you have fun. I really appreciate you calling. I appreciate the kind words.
Don't storm the Capitol.
No, don't worry about that. I'll be nice and calm.
There you go.
All right, brother. Well, listen, congratulations again. I didn't want the day to get away without.
I appreciate it. It really means a lot you to call, do that. It really does. Thank you so much. We love you, and be careful, okay?
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. All right, Jim.
All right, so anyway, getting back to Florida State, they're not going to have a spring game. They're not going to have a spring showcase. The stadium's not finished, so they're going to take advantage of that extra time and have another practice. They only get 15 days of practice, so that's going to be their 15th day or just a normal practice. So there's a lot of changes going on. It's going to be interesting to see how this all works out for them because just getting X amount of transfer guys isn't the answer, as they found out. You got to have the right guys, you know. So we'll see how this all.
I think a lot of people are going to approach spring a little bit different. I know Ohio State wants to push their spring back because of how long they're playing into January and how many games they're playing in a row.
Right.
I could see a scenario where they don't play really a spring game, or they maybe do like an event for recruits, but more or less, you know, it's going to be more of a scrimmage, a showcase for the fans. But I could see a lot of these teams not doing spring football anymore.
All right, let me just put on my cap.
Yep.
I always think everything. When it comes to football, I think of all kind of different angles.
For sure.
They got new coordinators, new offense coordinator, new defense coordinator. They open up week 1.
Roll Tide
at home. And me and Jeremy Pridgeon were talking, we're harassing Tommy. We're going, we know why you're doing that. You don't want us to get a scout report. You don't want to know exactly what you're doing and what you got. Tommy says, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But they do. They got a lot of new players coming in. And if they want to have a spring game.
But the way they run it, it wasn't like a real game.
Right.
Game. It was just like drills and stuff.
Right.
Situations like goal line and 7.
Why do they do that? Just trying not to get anybody hurt?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
It seems like injuries are more prevalent nowadays than ever, though.
I did see a picture of the stadium, and they did have a lot of stuff out in the middle of the field.
Right.
So I get it.
Is it going to be ready for the first game?
They said that it is.
They said it was. I certainly hope so.
Promising.
Don't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
How is Florida State, though, if they stay in the ACC, and if they keep the rules like they have now, they're going to be okay, but I think it's going to change. I think they don't have the money. The Big Ten, $100 million on an average school.
Per team.
SEC, $75 million.
Yeah.
I think it was like 38 or 40 for the AC. How do you?
So every 3 years, you're going to make as much as every year a Big Ten or SEC team makes.
Well, now wait a minute. Wait until the revenue sharing takes effect.
Right.
When you got the Big Ten that has 100, they have Fox, CBS, NBC, all these different stations they have, networks they have throughout the East Coast to the West Coast. We've got Disney. Thank you, Commissioner. We screwed up, I think, getting off CBS. We should have kept as many as we could. But when they do the revenue sharing, the Big Ten's going to have the most money to share the most amount of money with the players, even more than the SEC.
Yeah. But I thought that was legislated that you only do 20.5 or something like that.
But they hadn't passed yet, right? It hadn't passed.
I thought it did, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
So I thought it would be, no, we're making more money, we can pay more.
I don't think so.
So they're going to make the ACC and the Big 12, which don't make anything like that, pay that type of money?
if they have it.
I thought it was you could pay up to.
Okay, you're probably
I
right.
think that's right.
I think.
But what people have to realize, these facilities are just as important. The player lounges, so those money are going to go into the living, conditions for the players. So it's not like they're not going to be used on the players. They may not get it directly in a paycheck, but you should see some of these facilities these kids live in.
And that's the main reason FSU wants out of the ACC.
For sure, absolutely. If you're making $30 million a year and another team's making $100, it takes you 3 years to make the same amount of money. Yeah. But in 3 years, they have $300 million. You have 90. And if you want to talk about a huge gap and a huge advantage, and you're talking about a Northwestern, Florida State is Florida State. That's
Vandy's got money.
Oh,
if
for
they
sure.
want to spend money to be good, they could do it.
Those two teams right there, because we've seen the facility that Northwestern built. That was like a $150 million facility right there on Lake Erie. They just got to finish. That's why we played them in Chicago this year.
Lake Michigan.
A beautiful Lake Michigan. My bad. What did I say? Erie? Okay. But it's a beautiful facility. I mean, if they have the money, these schools have like multi-billion-dollar endowments. They're worth like $40 billion or something insane. So if they really wanted to concentrate on football, those are the teams that you should be worried about.
No doubt. All right, let's take a break. We get back. We got Jess Spiegel on talking about SEC, Alabama, and Auburn. And then we'll talk about the national championship game. Everything else, give us a call, 215-6290. But right now, I went down, I saw Big John, retired police officer. Guess what? He owns Paparazzi. That place, we had Jamie and my daughter's in town. We went down there and had a late lunch. We got one lunch special, and I'm telling you, it's like a huge pizza. There's slices of pizza. You get two of them, but they're like anybody else's pizza. For $11 and some change, we had lunch, and we had plenty. It was outstanding. I had the Supreme. She had the cheese. It was really good. Go down there and have a great time. They got the best bakery. I brag it all the time. I wanted that paradise cake so bad, but I didn't do it. It was unbelievable. The lasagna, the spaghetti, all that stuff down there is outstanding. And he got a retired police officer. For that reason alone, we should pack it out. Go down there and tell him you heard from on the ESPN Northwest Florida Paparazzi Pizza on Thomas Drive. Looking forward to Patrick every Monday. He's in here with us. You want that yard to look beautiful? Turf Pro Pest Control can make it happen. Patrick does a great job. Turf Pro Pest Control #1. Listen to him every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. And if you want some fine jewelry and have a great time visiting with those people, they will deal with you. All you got to do is say you heard on ESPN Northwest Florida, Coach Hale or Wildcat. They give you a 25% discount. That's David Asman, designer jewelry.
Easy for you.
Russ and Amber all of them down there do a great job. I love those people down there. I bought a nice necklace for Julie because she wanted it. And Russ helped me out big time. Thank you, Russ. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
We're caught in a trap. I can't walk out.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show. And if you look at where this franchise was 2 years ago, finally getting rid of the stench of Dan Snyder, bring in new ownership, you bring in Dan Quinn, and then all of a sudden you get your quarterback. And there were people in the organization that they were getting that they were going to get Jane Daniels.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Introducing the Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Lucid Stream TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200-plus entertainment and news networks. Or watch 10,000 movies on demand, including recent theater releases. Just $42 a month when you use the promo code ESPNNW at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Lucid Stream TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Lucid Stream TV logo.
If aliens showed up tomorrow and said, take us to your leader, you'd bring them to the Coach James Hale Show.
Danger, Bill Robinson, danger.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
roll. Alabama Update is brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. You're going to need them. If your power bill is it's just running. And you know what I'm talking about. It's not getting any warmer. You're just wasting money. And you're freezing. You're cold. You're miserable. You don't have to be. Call a local company that you can trust. Call Stevenson Air Conditioning. Right now, they're saying we got a 50% chance of having snow next week. I think today's Tuesday. It's going to be really cold for about 4 or 5 days. We're talking highs in the 30s, 40s,
even
lows
if it
in the
doesn't
20s.
snow, it's going to be frigid.
Yeah, really.
Frigid.
I like that word, frigid. How do you spell that? Anyway, we would love for you to call Stevenson Air Conditioning. That's good.
Where you put your food in the fridge. That's from Montgomery.
What you've been waiting on every Friday, 8 o'clock, the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Spiegel, out of the great state of Alabama, been covering the SEC since 1983. He's handsome, he is smart, he is kind, and he is important. Jeff, how are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm not as important as a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, you are. You're more important.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honestly, Jeff, we were talking about, I got Jim beside me. He's been with me since 1990. We've worked at these different schools, and we were fortunate to get put in at Cape Coral. And then this is my baby. This is my favorite job I ever had. We opened this school up. We bought all the desks, the equipment. We were in a little trailer at Beach Elementary, and we were ordering all this stuff for all the equipment for a brand new high school. The amount of money, it was incredible, the amount of work involved in it. Jan Solaris, Dale McKenzie, Julie Hale, myself in a little trailer. And we got to hire the staff. It's just a special place in our heart. We love the job. We love this community. Bay County's a special place. And for them to do that means they'll never know how much it means to me. I never thought it would happen, but it really means a lot. And thank you for mentioning it.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it really is. And my daughter was a 4-year varsity cheerleader there. She was on the girls' weightlifting team. She was on the track team. My son, Jared, is the only male athlete that has 12 varsity letters, which...
Whoa.
Yeah, he started all 4 years in track. He started all 4 years in the weightlifting team. He started all 4 years at quarterback. He owes the passing records, him and the Hardin kids in this part of the state. So really...
That's amazing.
Yeah, and Julie was the first female AD in this part of the state. So it was a family deal now. It was a big deal. My other daughter, Mariah, she graduated from there. And our grandkids will probably go to school there.
Oh, that's
Daniel
awesome.
Bush
What a
has spent
legacy.
all the years at Alabama.
Yeah. Nick Saban's one of his top recruiters graduated from here. Nick Saban was in Julie's office when we had the number one athlete in the country. It's amazing. He comes around when he wants something. But anyway, we're in the office there, and we're talking, and I said, Coach, I need a favor. And he goes, what do you need? I said, I got a kid that played for me. He can't play for you. He can't play at that level. But he wants to be a part of the football program up there. He wants to work for you, do anything. He can sweep out the laundry room, whatever you can do, but he needs a job up there. He's on a full ride. He made a perfect score on the SAT or whatever test it was. Right. And he said, what's his name? He said, Daniel Bush. Matter of fact, I'll introduce you to his father. So Coach Bush came in, introduced him to him. He turned to Jeremy Pruitt and said, Jeremy, write his name down. Sure enough, they get back, and Nick hired him. And the rest, after he left out, graduated from Alabama, he went to Arkansas with Bielema. He went to Colorado with Bobo, Colorado State with Bobo. And then he got a call from the running back coach. I forgot his name now. He's not there any longer. And said, Nick wants to talk to you. And sure enough, he went to work for Coach Saban. And listen to this. Daniel had a phone call. He could have left and gone to Georgia with Kirby. Bobo was there, and Kirby knew him anyway. And he never told Saban about them calling and offering the job. And one of the other guys in the building knew about it because he knew all those people also, and told Nick. He said, "You know that Georgia tried to get him." He goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "I didn't know anything." He said, "Yeah, he didn't tell anybody because he didn't want the job. He's going to stay with you." So when Daniel went through his evaluation at the end, like he evaluates all the coaches and he tells them what they're going to do the next year, he slid a piece of paper over Nick, and Daniel opened it up. He goes, Coach, I couldn't believe my raise. He said, I almost fainted. And that's when Saban said,
Wow.
That's when Saban goes, why didn't you tell me that you were approached by Georgia? I said, Coach, I graduated from here. You gave me my first job. I will never leave you. I love Alabama. I'll be here as long as you're here, as long as you want me. And Nick just smiled and gave him a big raise.
That's awesome.
So anyway, that's pretty cool.
Arnold High School graduate.
Yeah, Arnold High School right there. Unbelievable. Anyway, and then my little baby girl gets to go up there and interview him because you sent her up there. So that's even better, man. Unbelievable.
Oh, so great.
Hey, what's the
Awesome
deal with you guys and the weather? How bad's it going to get there?
Well, I couldn't believe it when you said a while ago that it might snow in Panama City. Has that ever happened?
Yes.
25 years I've been here, hadn't. But Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was early 2000s. It snowed here around one Christmas. It was like 1 or 2 days, but there's a little like dust on the ground and a lot of wrecks, a lot of crazy people driving it.
Well, we had a meeting Wednesday, and one of the meteorologists said that there's a possibility there could be at least 1 inch of snow across the entire state.
Wow.
Which I don't know if that's ever happened. So we're kind of, we're getting ready for our second, winter storm in a span of, a couple of weeks. Yeah. So that's just really odd. But we're getting ready.
Now, what will they do? Like here, they'll shut down everything here because we can't handle it. Do they do the same thing for sports? They shut down all the activities and everything?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a high school athletic association rule that, if the schools aren't open, you can't have any athletic activities, and so that would certainly be the case here, as well, because you just you don't want school buses taking a bunch of kids around on icy streets, and so everything shuts down, and people just go out and play in the snow, get on their sleds, make snowmen. I love the snow. I really do. I mean, I think it's fun. The snow that we had here last Friday we didn't have that many travel issues around here, and people just had a good time. Now, this might be a little different. We might have a lot more ice, a little more, freezing rain, and so it might be a little different this go around.
Well, you be safe and take care of yourself. We were supposed to take a trip, and we'll probably have to change it now because of where we're going. There's a possibility of ice, too, and I don't want to deal with that. Let me ask you this. Alabama football, Alabama basketball, baseball. I want to start with baseball real quick. What do you expect for a baseball team this year? I saw the preseason, way too early preseason poll. They weren't in it. They spent the money on the stadium. It's time for Alabama, in my opinion, to be good in baseball. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think they've got a good coach, and he's got a good track record, from where he was. Now, the SEC is, it's a different league. I mean, it's a really tough, competitive baseball league, and it's just. So I just think he's got to get his guys in. He's got to get his system in, and. But I thought he had a decent year last year, and it just takes time to, get in and kind of do your thing. And people want to say, well, it's only baseball, right? Greg Byrne is going to be, pretty patient and all that stuff. Greg Byrne is not a very patient man when it comes to, the standard of what he thinks, each sport, should have. I knew someone, several years ago who was kind of on the inside, and knew how that stuff operated. And Greg Byrne meets on a regular basis with his coaches, and he's got a high standard of how each athletic team is supposed to perform. So there's a high standard with the baseball program as well. So, he wants to see progress every year, and I think he will with this coach. And, it's just it's a tough league. I mean, there are a lot of good teams in the SEC for sure.
Let me ask you this: with baseball, basketball, football, the NIL, like Vandy, they got plenty of money, and they've always been really good in baseball. But is it going to be like we see Ohio State, we see Oregon, we see Texas with all the money? and they were the top two. Well, and Georgia was up there too. But could that be the same thing in baseball, where Texas is going to be really good in baseball in the SEC because they want to? They could probably give the more NIL money to the baseball players. Isn't that going to be across the board in all these sports?
Well, I mean, I think quite possibly, and then then it all comes down to what, just as a fan. I mean, how serious are you about it? Do you want to see your baseball program go to Omaha? How much does it mean to you? There's a lot more, onus on the fans now to kind of pitch in and help support this thing. It used to be the only obligation the fans had was to show up and cheer on the football team. But now, as Greg Byrne, publicly did several weeks ago, look, we kind of need your money too. We need you to contribute to this NIL fund and help us compete with these big boys. And so there's a lot more importance placed on that, more so on fans, more than ever, I think.
Basketball, I wanted to ask you this. I'll be honest with you, I was surprised we got beat by 10 points at home versus Ole Miss. Did that surprise you? We're ranked 4th in the country. I know every team's really good. There's no doubt about that. But that was a home game. That surprised me.
Well, one of the red flags that has popped up for Alabama this year so far is their inability to take care of the basketball. And I don't care what sport you play, if you can't maintain possession of the ball, you're not going to succeed, right? And to turn it over 21 times, and it's one thing if you've got, and Ole Miss has got great guards, and they're really quick, and they get their hands in there and they slap balls away. That's one thing. But it's another thing if you're standing there and you're looking in the lane and you're trying to throw a pass and you just throw it right to the other team. That's one thing that fans don't have a lot of patience with. And there were a lot of turnovers like that in this game. And it was a clear case of just improper focus and just I don't think they overlooked Ole Miss. How can you overlook the number 21 team in the country?
Yeah.
But Ole Miss came in and they brought it. And every week, man, you got to bring it. And if you don't have your A game every night in this league, I don't care if you're playing South Carolina, Tennessee, whoever, you can get beat no matter where you're playing, home or away.
Jeff, we're going to hold you right there. We're going to take a break, come back and finish up with you, talk about some Auburn, talk Alabama, talk about what's going on, national championship football game, and a lot of different things with Jeff Spiegel. But before we do that, we want you to go down to Beef O'Brady's over in the great city of Lynn Haven. They have Pat Purnell's the city commissioner over there, does an incredible job. You go in that facility, they treat you like family. They always have a smile on their face. They treat you like family. The food's incredible. Go check it out. TV's everywhere. Great place to watch the national championship game Monday night. Watch the NFL game plays there. Get out to Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven and have a great time. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Crystal's into a Waffle House.
Yeah.
That's like the polar vortex right there.
And then ask for some condiments. Like, yeah, can I get some more ketchup?
You would disrespect the Waffle House like that.
Or complain about the food.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. For this afternoon and evening, mostly sunshine and a high of 63 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Tonight, a mixture of very light showers and mostly clouds with lows around 55. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning followed by sprinkles and a temperature near 68. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
I'm not prepared. I really am not prepared at all. I hope you won't judge me on one email I sent 10 years ago.
My apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
Not after spicy your food demo!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, Martha Kenny, James Jenner, all out through the Panhandle. Great Auburn fans, and they are happy. The number one team in college basketball for only the second time in school history. The winningest basketball coach in school history. They got it rolling down there. We talked to Andy Burcham, Jeff, and he talked about how tough the SEC was. Every time you go on the court, you can get beat home, away, wherever. Do you think it's the best basketball? The basketball's the best conference in basketball right now?
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, there are 12 teams projected right now to go to the NCAA tournament from the SEC, which is just crazy. And when you think of where basketball was in the SEC, 10, 8 years ago, I mean, it's amazing how far it's come. So, I mean, and it's and if you're a basketball fan, I mean, it's really cool to see. And you like the fact that, you know what, there are no gimmies anymore in this league. And you got to love that. The fact that every week, man, somebody's ready to jack your jaws when you get into the paint. And Alabama kind of found that out, on Tuesday. And Auburn found that out against South Carolina. One of the narratives going into the Mississippi State game was, we got punked by South Carolina, one of the bottom feeders in this incredible league. And so they were bound and determined not to let that happen again. So they brought the fight to Mississippi State. And Bruce Pearl was pretty positive. On Monday, he said, look, we don't have Janai Broome, but we still have a pretty good team. And they went out there and showed it with 5 guys finishing in double figures and beating State by 22.
And this week, since talking about a tough schedule, they got to go to Georgia, which is not lost. They're 11-0 at home. So this is no gimme, and they're going to have to go on the road and in that environment and beat Georgia. I think they tip off around 12 o'clock on the SEC network. What do you think is going to happen in that game?
Well, they've beaten 3 top 25 teams, so this Georgia team is really good. But here's the thing with Auburn, and it's not to the level where Kentucky is, but when Auburn goes on the road, they take a bunch of fans with them.
Yeah.
A bunch of fans buy tickets and go to games. Nick Pringle, for South Carolina, said this. I was at the free throw line, and it sounded like I was at a road game, because there were a bunch of fans, kind of cheering for him to miss it. And he talked about what kind of a tough environment it was in. He's playing at home, and he's talking like that. So the Auburn fans are bringing it, man, and they pack the place at home, and they travel with the team too, and I think that's really cool to see.
Yeah, the thing about Auburn, you can't. You go buy a ticket from the market from them. It costs so much money. It's cheaper to actually go on the road and watch them play and trying to get a ticket to Auburn. I mean, they can charge what they want and get it. I mean, that's incredible. They built it, they came. I used to tell people back in the day, build it, they will come.
Yep.
Did I used to say that?
Yeah, you said that.
I said that.
They made a movie about it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just stole your idea.
I wrote that movie.
Yeah.
They moved to Iowa instead of Montgomery.
I had wrote the book first. It's about a baseball team. They built anyway. Hey, let me ask you this.
Sure.
This week, the national championship game. We got remember, you got 2 Buckeye boys in here. Ohio State, Notre Dame. What do you think is going to happen?
I like the Buckeyes. I tell you who my favorite football player in America is right now. It's Jack Sawyer.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a good name for a football player and also for a lumberjack.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a tough dude. I mean, how do you like this guy? He's the guy who took the, when Michigan tried to plant the flag.
Yeah.
He was the enforcer on that deal. He's the guy who did the strip sack on his old buddy Quinn Ewers and then returned it 83 yards for a touchdown. The man went, and did you see how fast the dude is?
Yeah.
There was no one was going to catch him. So, I love this guy. And I'm rooting hard for the Buckeyes to come away and win that thing.
This is going to be a 30 for 30 for ESPN. They'll start out with the Michigan game. And everybody's saying, fire the coach, kill the coach. His daughter's crying. He's crying. Then it'll show the 3 games and the national championship where, that's made for TV. You can't beat that.
Well, look, everybody's been talking about what a great job Marcus Freeman has done, and he's done a great job. And certainly Ohio State's got more star power than he does. But I think the job that Ryan Day did after that devastating loss to Michigan to kind of get those guys, back and focused, on the playoff has been pretty amazing in itself.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think one of the things that's really, really overlooked in the whole Ohio State thing is how old the team is. I mean, they got. I don't think he could do with a bunch of freshman guys or 1-year transfer guys that haven't budgeted. But those guys are invested. They've been there for 4 years.
Some 5.
They all made it. Some of them 5. They made the choice to come back, and it's important to them. I just don't know that another team that's has that much experience would buy in like they seemingly have.
Yeah, because every broadcast here, the most expensive team money can buy, which wasn't true, but they are up there. But 90% of that was for retention. They brought their players back. The guys that have been in that program that have set the standard in the weight room, that have set the standard in practice. It was, obviously they brought in like a Caleb Downs. They had 2 starters on defense that were transfers. One's been there 3 years now. They have 2 transfers on offense. So this is a very experienced team that was built from within, it was kind of rare nowadays. You saw it with Michigan last year, the run they made. But after that Michigan loss, I got to give Ryan Day a lot of credit because he kicks a lot of heat from the Ohio State fan base. So we have a huge fan base. There's 20% of us that are absolutely insane, especially if you lose to Michigan. And for him to turn that around, he had to pull his kids out of school. Some of the teachers were saying stuff to his kids, and he had to.
Sorry is that?
That's terrible, and it's embarrassing for Ohio State fans. It doesn't represent the majority of us, but just to have that to where he's taking this team now, because he could have just curled up in the fetal position, moved on to the NFL. The NFL really, really values Ryan Day and his offenses, so he doesn't have to be at Ohio State, but he loves it and he loves this team. So I just think they're a team of destiny. I just don't see Notre Dame scoring enough to beat them.
Yeah, very well said. I totally agree.
It's amazing. I hope we got this on video. When you start talking about Ohio State and saying those positive things, both their tails were wagging.
We had to listen to Alabama for 15 years and 9 national championships, 3 you didn't even earn.
18.
And get stats every day. They have 752 wins.
How many first-round draft picks has Alabama had?
900,000 guys in the NFL.
How many second-round draft picks?
Making bazillions of dollars. Really? I didn't know that.
Jeff, let me ask you this.
It's been a long time for us.
Since they brought it up.
Oh, here we go.
How do you feel? Aren't you depressed like I am? We've won 13 of the last 18 national championships. Okay, they're in Dixieland. They're in the heart of Georgia playing the game. These Yankees are down here.
Hey,
they've taken over the sport.
And you posted, and now you got Steve Spurrier whining about where the games are played. Like, are you kidding? How much did you pay him to say that?
I loved it. I loved it, man. I had a dream about him. I swear I did.
Day. Steve Spurrier whining about games being played up north. Come on, Steve.
Well, here's what we could hang our hat on. Coach, the SEC doesn't have a dog in the fight in this game, but listen, who's going to be officiating the game, right?
That's right. God. We got the best officials. That's right.
In the SEC. So it's going to be a well-called game. Steve Marlowe is one of the best officials in the country. And so you can rest assured, Buckeye fans and Irish fans, that will be a very well-officiated professionally called football game.
Does he know what targeting is?
So we should wear our Georgia throwback uniforms.
Go Dogs.
Yeah.
Just bark a lot.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
He's the best in the business, Steve Marlowe.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for coming on. I know you're busy. What's going on up there this week? Heading out to watch Bama play. Is Bama at home this week or not in basketball?
Yeah, Bama's at Kentucky.
Ooh.
Yeah, so there you go.
Wildcat likes that.
Yeah, now my tail's wet.
No easy. No easy. Like well, let's take it easy after a physical game against Ole Miss. No, not really.
Yeah.
You got to go to Lexington. So, and last February they got beat 117-95 up there.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
And then Auburn's at Georgia, so you guys, y'all will be you'll have an easy weekend, right? Just kind of don't have to travel. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Well, be safe, be careful, and we appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
All right, y'all have a good one. Be safe.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We just talked about getting out to Lynn Haven. Where are you going to go? Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven. It sounds different now. Anyway, wow. J. Michael's Restaurant, today's special, Chris Fish. But they got the best seafood. They got the coldest beer. Great steaks. Ask Jason. He knows all about that. And just ask him. He has steak and the shrimp special at the same time. Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
The place is incredible. The legendary J. Michaels. Stevenson Air Conditioning. You know it's going to be cold. We might have snow up in the Panhandle. Don't sit there and freeze. If it's been running, your power bill's going through the roof, and you're not getting any warmer, that's not smart. Go with somebody local. Go with somebody you can trust. Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason will send his crew out there. They'll solve every problem you have. They're incredible. And also Chuck Tucker, another local guy that's done an incredible job. His company's expanded throughout the Panhandle of Florida. South Oak Time Closing for all your real estate closing. The great Mark McLeod. The great Mark Coward.
You're both great.
Both of them are great. Down on 38 sells. I mean, he's selling $10 million, $15 million homes. He won't use anybody but South Oak Time Closing. They're number one. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the ESPN Northwest Florida Hall and Arts Magic Express. We're taking a busload of sports fanatics on the ultimate road trip to watch the Orlando Magic play the Sacramento Kings March 29th at the Kia Center. Plus hotel and food during the game. Just open the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Enter Contest. Sponsored by PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Hall and Arts, and Fairfield Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Clare, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you, serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
He's a beacon of light to many and an inspiration to all.
These men need inspiration.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio.
They're motivated by Vicodin and road skank.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Give us a call if you'd like, 215-6290, 215-6290. We got to talk to the ESPN. We got to talk to Disney. This is not right for the SEC, where it just means more, to let the Big Ten on an average of $25 million more than we're making. We can't have that.
What's the problem?
It's un-American.
Un-American.
This is, and let me tell you why. This is facts. Most viewed conference. The SEC led the nation with 589,013,000 watched the SEC. The Big Ten was second, 471,700,000. And this is the reason the other two conferences are going to die out if it continues. And we can't let the seedings happen. Like, we don't need to have automatic bids for for the conference champions. And here's why. They're not going to be able to have the same type players because they're not going to be able to pay them like these two leagues can. The next one wasn't even the ACC. The third most viewed was the Big 12. Remember what the SEC and Big 10 was. The Big 12, 248 million.
Whoa.
Almost half of what's the SEC and Big 10. 248,578,000. And this is scary if you're FSU and Clemson, Miami, Louisville. The ACC only had 48 million.
Wow.
996,000.
And I would say you take Dion and just the people are tuning in, whether it's CFA or I'm saying you take Colorado out of the Big 12, you're probably looking around an ACC number, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right. There's no
everybody
doubt.
tunes in to see what Dion does. Whether you love him or hate him, you're going to watch him try to lose or win. So
that's true. Good point.
It's the other conferences just aren't as good, and we've known that for a while.
Yeah, that's the reason we have got to get more money. Again, I'll say it again. We screwed up. We should have kept the SEC. I still think we could have kept the CBS and got what we wanted from ESPN, I think. Is that for me? I hope. It's yours? Dang it, I'd like to have some of that. No, roll tide. Hey, what do you think about this? Texas quarterback turns down $8 million transfer offer and NIL to go to the pros. Do y'all believe that?
No, I don't believe any of the NIL numbers because, some of the numbers are thrown around are just, they're more than what some of these guys have total to spend. Now, I do think over a couple of years, like the Underwood deal with $10 million, I think that was, $3 a year. But I've never heard anybody come out that's official, that's either with one of these foundations or with the school or even a player, talk about specific numbers.
Yeah.
So I think they're all inflated.
See, you hear this from Texas quarterback, he's going to make $8 million, and then you hear the rumor, well, maybe it's true that Beck is going to Miami for $4 million for one. And that's having that surgery to me to waste $4 million, it's like rolling dice. You don't know what you're going to get for that.
Exactly.
That I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
But they're going to pay $4 million for that. Maybe they would pay $8 million for yours.
I don't even know if they paid him $4 million. They pay Cam Ward $1.5, and you go pay Beck with an injured arm $4. That doesn't make any sense to me.
The three schools they mentioned with him, they were supposedly talking to him, was Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia.
Right.
Talk about yours?
Yeah.
Or
Beck.
Or Beck.
Yeah.
No, yours. They said yours.
I don't even know if yours was talking to him. I mean, they have agents, so they can talk behind the scenes. But yours was set to go to the NFL. That was where his heart was. Even before the Ohio State game, he talked about, are you going to be back in college? He said no, absolutely not. He didn't blink an eye, didn't say, oh, if this happens. He said, no, I'm not going to be back in college next year. So all these numbers can be floated out. It's all theory, but I mean.
I just wonder if it's true what Michigan paid the kid, that quarterback, the number one quarterback in the country, by one publication.
I'll be honest, if he lives up to the Jaden Daniels hype, which is a comparable, comparison for him, I mean, $10 million over 3 years is kind of a bargain. I mean, $3 million. The problem is some of these numbers are throwing out. What they don't understand, there's a pay scale within the team. Ohio State wanted Damon Wilson to transfer the defense end from Georgia. Big time talent, 5-star, had some production at Georgia, slated to start this year. but they're not going to pay him $3 million when they pay Jeremiah Smith $2 or Caleb Downs $3. So if you pay him $4 million, now you got to pay Caleb Downs $6, and you got to pay Jeremiah Smith $5.
Downs just signed a new NIL. Talk about that.
So he just signed with the NIL collective, and that's what's happening through all of these players. Every year it's renegotiated, so every year their pay scale gets built up. But every big-time program, especially with a lot of talent like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, has a pay scale, and they're not going to deviate from that because if you, like I said, you pay a guy that hasn't been within the program, more than Caleb Downs or Jeremiah Smith, then you have to reset the entire market. You have to reset the entire pay scale.
There was an article, and I think it was an AL.com. Alabama is kind of following what Ohio State, that game plan, the ones you want to keep, keeping them on campus.
Recruit high school, develop them, retain them with the money. What people don't realize, because we hear every broadcast, is Ohio State's the best team money you can buy. They have 4 transfers that started. They have Caleb Downs, they have Igbenogzian from Ole Miss, they have Judkins and Howard.
4 of the best in the nation.
That is.
Let's talk to this great college. Hey, Rob, I need some NIL money. Good morning, sir.
Well, good luck. I need some too. Hey, you're the Hall of Famer.
Right.
How you doing? I just want to congratulate you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. There's a number you can call and you give your donations. Have you set that up yet, Wildcat?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
It's 850-814.
Rob, I really appreciate that. That school, I love that school, and people do that. That's great.
But now you need to work on getting into the Broadcast Hall of Fame. And, the way to do that is that people like you, we got a storm coming. You need to pack you a bag and sleep there in the studio at night, just in case the road's closed.
We'll do a live out in the parking lot.
That's true.
That's great, Rob.
True.
I'll be in here in the control room. He'll be outside.
Or how about the Wildlife Hall of Fame with your updates on alligators eating kids?
There you go. Alligators freezing in the snow in Panama City, Florida.
I don't know how you can clinch his Hall of Fame broadcasting career. You got to go out during a hurricane and
go live.
With 100-mile-per-hour winds, hanging on to the stop sign.
No, I'll be like CNN. I go jump in a little pond and act like it's hitting when the.
He'll be up in Georgia or Birmingham.
Somebody with a garden hose.
With his pool in his backyard. I'm fighting the wind.
Julie splashing water into his face.
We get you one of them ESPN. We'll get you one of them ESPN rain suits and stuff, and you stand out there with
There you go.
And the microphone, and then pull back and show that everybody else is standing underneath the awning, and you're way out there in the weather stuff with a fan blowing on you, so it looks like it's a lot worse.
Rob, Jim just mentioned the wild updates we used to do and we will start doing them again. But really, we got upset between break. There's so much evil out there. I just showed Jim a video. It was on Facebook, and they're filming a German Shepherd being attacked by some kind of panther, and they're not helping the dog. You can tell they're like on a balcony, and the dog was underneath it, and the leopard came out, and he has it by the neck, and he's killing it, and takes it off. It breaks the leash and takes off. And all the people are talking and filming it. They've got weapons. They know that. To me, that it was a setup just to get hits on it.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've also seen the worst ones, though, they had a dog down by the river, and you could tell it's a different country. And sure enough, they're throwing stuff, and sooner or later, it looked like a crocodile, not a gator, come up and kill the little dog. I would love to take those people and throw them into the water and watch the gator get there. I mean, I'm sorry. If you hurt an animal, there's something wrong with you. A child and an animal, you got something wrong with your brain.
You're right.
You're right. You're exactly right, because that mostly those animals are pets, and they're dependent on you to protect them. If they're not, not to chain them up in the bad spot. Yeah, I have
It's not a Michael Vick video, is it?
No.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
I have a soft spot in my heart for animals and stuff that are being left on the sides of the roads and that sort of stuff.
Makes you sad.
I'd rather let. Yeah.
I want them dudes to dress, man.
But anyway, about tonight. That's out there at Arnold.
Arnold's
the basketball game tonight.
Yeah, Arnold 7. Halftime to Arnold baseball, basketball game.
Big game, too. Bay Arnold's a big game, big rivalry.
Big rival
Coach
game.
Memma's going to bring them Tornadoes ready, and we'll go out there and celebrate Coach Hale at halftime after we whip y'all.
Yeah, Glenn will be starting some kind of problem. Him and Jason will be doing something to start up some problems, especially Glenn.
Right. We should have invited our alma mater out there to celebrate on our turf. We're coming to plant our flag.
Is that Alf Coleman Road that Arnold's on?
Yeah. Right. If you come, just say you're coming there for the Hall of Fame thing. Tell me with our party, the Hale party.
Come in and say I'm the Hale party.
That's all. I'm serious. That's all you got.
They'll show you out.
Yeah,
they'll show you a party. All right.
We're the Raised Hale party.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Well, there again, you deserve it, and congratulations. And I hope it all works out. But you need to start working on the other part now. Put in the same type of commitment to the radio show and being a broadcaster.
Hey, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Bob Euchre passed away yesterday. He played baseball and everything, but he is in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
For the broadcast.
Just a bit outside.
They had an old video of him on Johnny Carson's show. It was really good. See, I follow what Johnny Carson does. He took off all the time. He was always off. That's what you got to do. Right. You got to make a mission.
Right, but
you got to stay fresh.
He had good
fill-ins.
Co-host.
Yeah,
I came in.
I got Jason.
You did learn something well from John. Take something away from Johnny Carson.
That's right.
Did you hear the one about where they won Bob Euchre, where they won the World Series and they were giving the rings out to him, and that he said that he got it kind of time to get his ring, and he finally found it about the third inning out in left field where they threw it.
Wow.
Yeah, and go on YouTube and listen to his Hall of Fame induction speech. It was he was a very, very funny guy.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be sorely missed because he was enjoyable to listen to.
He was a great one, no doubt about that.
Yeah, he was. And the one time he said that one time that when he first got into the major leagues, that they were telling him that now you're a catcher, your job is to make the pitcher look great. He said the only thing is that they didn't tell him that they were talking about his team, not the other team. So when he went to bat, he would either strike out or ground out. So.
Oh my God. Well, Rob, we got to take a break. You got to go.
Yeah.
Well,
I do. I'm gonna pull for the Notre Dame team, but I'm sure that the Ohio State team's gonna pull that out Monday night.
Yeah.
But we'll get to talk about it again Monday.
So. Yeah.
Anyway,
all right. Thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you for calling, buddy. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, the TV ratings for the playoffs, especially the first round, you had Boise State in there, SMU. You knew who was going to win the games more or less. They were down 17% compared to the Final Four. Last year it was at 19.2 million. The Cotton Bowl, though, was the most viewed ever Cotton Bowl, 20.6 average. The Orange Bowl only averaged 17.8 million. And the first round games were pitiful. It was like 10.6 million watched the first round.
Yeah.
So that's not good. That's not good. Maybe we'll have a chance to talk about it when we get back. We'll go ahead and take this break. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
Mike McCarthy is out as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. The sides could not agree on the length of the contract. And Mike McCarthy, and I think he's smart here, will pursue other options.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Friday. For this afternoon and evening, mostly sunshine and a high of 63 with a gentle breeze out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Tonight, a mixture of very light showers and mostly clouds with lows around 55. Tomorrow, overcast in the morning followed by sprinkles and a temperature near 68. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Febreze Fabric Spray? Oh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Febreze. La, 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 la.
Hello?
Honey, my radio is making this loud squeaking noise when I'm stopping my car. I really think I might need new speakers.
Oh, why don't you try turning down the radio, hon?
It just got worse.
Maybe we should take it down to Alford Tire and Service Center, and maybe they can figure out what's going on. At Alford Tire and Service Center, we provide peace and quiet with the radio off. So if your car is making a strange noise, come and see us for your free visual safety inspection today. Located on Tyndall Parkway in beautiful Callaway, we do it all at Alford Tire and Service Center.
He's a 10-foot-tall, barrel-chested beast man who showers in vodka and feeds his baby shrimp scampi.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Please welcome.
King don't hurt.
Live and local from the J. Michaels studio, the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, Elvis has left the building. I've told you absolutely straight up to this point, you know that he has left the building. He left the stage and went out the back with the policeman, and he is now gone from the building.
I tell you what, they play this at Auburn, that place goes crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. Elvis, I miss him to the day. What a talent. Hey, all right, I'm going to get, we were talking about, this is another reason you're going to see everything change in the future. When you only have 10.6 million people watching, and remember the committee picked these teams and stuff like that, people don't want to watch an SMU. I'm sorry, I'm not being ugly. They don't. Penn State, SMU, whoever they were playing, Boise State, they just don't bring. You're going to see they're going to get rid of the conference champions, getting the buys. They're going to go to the top 12. I think they'll probably go to 14 teams early, but the 14 teams will play it. Then they'll do it because, and I'll tell you why it's going to happen. We told you this last year. The reason Alabama got in it last year because the amount of people watched them play on TV, the people that pay for advertising, they want to get a return on their value. And when you only have 10 million people watching instead of 19 or 20 million, that's a big difference. So it's going to happen. You will see this. What do you think it'll happen next year or a year after that? I think it'll be next year. Don't you think so?
To me, the biggest thing was, get your 12 teams, but there shouldn't be any automatic buys.
No.
There just shouldn't. I mean,
the problem is, though, and I've read a little bit on this, they have to be unanimous in their voting to change anything. So why would Boise State vote to change anything? Why would?
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's the hang-up right now because they wanted to change this for next year, and it got voted down. So
and the other thing we talked about this before, and I think it's relevant, and I'll talk about it again. I really think, and I'm not just saying this because Ohio State's playing Notre Dame, but I just think it's wrong. Everybody should be in a conference, or nobody's in a conference. Yeah. You should play the same amount of conference games, too. I don't care whether it's 8 or 9. I could care less. But everybody ought to do the same thing. It's just not right that Notre Dame has an advantage. The way it's set up now, they never have to play a conference championship game, ever. So they're going to be in the top 12 because they're going to schedule teams that they can beat. Army, Navy.
But I think the other conferences were okay with that. What I don't think they foresaw was how far they went, and they don't split their money with anybody. So when Ohio State, goes to the national championship game and they make $20 million, they split it with 18 teams.
Right.
When Notre Dame makes it, they get $20 million. They can reinvest directly into their program.
I never thought of that.
That is a huge advantage. So they just made $18 million more dollars than anybody in the Big Ten just by making as far as they did. I don't think the other conferences took that into account. I think that's going to change. There's no way they're going to give them that advantage.
See, I do. I'm a Jim. I think they're going to change it, and I think they're going to change it this year regardless what Boise State wants, because it's all about money. The people paying the bills are going to want this. And if the two biggest commissioners in all of athletics go, you're going to change it or we're going to pull out, they're going to do what they want.
That's what's going to have to happen. The SEC, Big Ten are going to have to say, hey, that's a nice story, but we're going to go over here and do our thing. Because why would the ACC vote not to have an automatic, bye in a top 4 seed? Because they know their teams can't compete with SEC, Big Ten. Why would the Big 12 vote for that? Why would the non-Power 5 conferences like Boise State vote for that? They're just not going to. Is it good for the sport? No. We just saw, like you said, the ratings and everything that played out. Some of these seeds should have got a higher seed. They should have been playing in the first round. Teams like Texas, maybe even Ohio State, maybe Penn State should have got those byes. They were definitely the better teams. That's why they are where they are. But it has to be unanimous, and that's where the hang-up's going to be, and that's where something's going to have to change. I think the networks are going to have to get involved. The bigwig CEOs are going to have to get involed and really start leaning on some of these lesser conferences.
It will happen. It's all about money. It's all about money.
And they got all of it.
All right, I'm not going to be here. I don't know if I'll be here Monday or not, but I want to go with this, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong or right. The national championship game, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, in my opinion, to give Notre Dame to have a chance to win this football game, they got to slow the game down. They got to eat clock, no turnovers. They got to have less penalties than Ohio State. They got to win the kicking game. They've got to confuse Howard somehow, some way. They're a man coverage team. They want to play man coverage across the board.
Good luck.
You cannot line up and play man coverage every snap against Ohio State. You're going to get killed. In my opinion, they will get killed trying to do that.
You know who else was also man coverage teams? Tennessee, Oregon. You know who it wasn't? Texas.
Right.
So you look at the results of that game.
Right.
I mean, good luck if you're going to try to play man on Jeremiah Smith.
They've got to mix it up. They've got to show man and then play covers. They got to show zone and play man. They got to mix it. They got to try somehow and get in his mind and confuse him. And then the other thing, and I said this about Texas, they got to put him on the ground, not mess with him. They got to put him on the ground. They got to make him uncomfortable somehow, some way. If they don't, I don't think they have a shot. But they live with man coverage, and you can't cover those guys. You can't cover those receivers they have. The quarterback's good. If they can't run the clock, they can't keep the clock running by running the football, shorten the football game, they're going to have a hard time. I don't think they have enough offense to keep up with Ohio State. This could be, I hate to say it, and I'm not being ugly, this could be like the last time Notre Dame played for a national championship. When you go against a team that has the talent that Ohio State has, and they're playing like they have the last 3 ball games, this could get out of hand. They cannot let them start fast. If Ohio State comes out of the gate and they're scoring left and right, this is going to get ugly.
I think the biggest issue is injuries for Notre Dame. I mean, if they were full strength, this to me would be a very tight game. Very looked like the Texas game. A team might pull away late, but the majority of the game is going to be a battle. And I still think Notre Dame's going to come with their A game. They're elite competitors. They may be down some guys. Right. They may not be as athletic, but you have to drag them off the field and knock them out to beat them. And that's what happened with Penn State. Penn State, to me, for 3 quarters, looked like the better team. They were able to run the ball more efficiently. They executed a little bit better on offense, but when it got into the winning time, Notre Dame stared them directly in the face. They hit them harder. They made big interceptions, made big plays. Riley Leonard, who's not traditionally a good passer, made big plays in the pass game to get them tied. So you're going to have to kill this team to beat them. I mean, they're not going to quit. So this is a tough-minded team. That's what makes me nervous a little bit about this. Ohio State's got to match that intensity because they do have the talent.
Yeah.
If they let Will Howard, Jeremiah Smith, and get going early, this will be a long game. But I do think Notre Dame's going to hang around.
What do you think? Was I right, wrong? What would you add to it?
I think you're spot on and very fair. That DB who's a freshman at Notre Dame running his mouth, how they're going to play man, I don't believe that for a second.
No, heck no.
I mean, that's just all talk. It don't mean nothing. If you have any sense whatsoever, you can't play man-to-man the whole game against Ohio State. You can't. You'll get torched. How did it work out for Oregon?
Right.
How did it work out for Tennessee? That They're going to mix it up. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And the only way this stays close is if Ohio State makes it close.
Yeah.
Penalties. Turnovers, that
missed
kind of
blocks,
stuff.
And how can you not be up for the national championship?
No, both these teams are going to be up. There's no bulletin board material.
We got about a minute.
Yeah.
Talk about your business.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of meal plans right now. So if you want to get in shape, if you're struggling with what to eat, when to eat it, we have certified sports nutritionists on staff. When we sign you up for your meal plan, we put you on our InBody 570. We get your initial results, and then we have weekly check-ins on the InBody 570. See where your skeletal muscle mass is, to see where your body fat is. So we take all the guesswork out of it for you. So come down to see us at Max Fit on 23rd Street in the Del Coronado Village. We also have a free sample bar. So if you're looking for a new vitamin, protein, pre-workout, intra-workout product, come down and try our products out for free. You don't have to buy anything. We do have our sample bar too. So Pier Park North next to Dick's Sporting Goods, and 23rd Street next to in the Del Coronado Village.
Get in there, visit with him. The guys are incredible. You guys have a great weekend. Leave it right here all day long. Ryan Moby's coming up a little bit later today. Dave and the Underdogs, we're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hey.
It's the ESPN Northwest Florida Hall of Arts Magic Express. We're taking a busload of sports fanatics on the ultimate road trip to watch the Orlando Magic play the Sacramento Kings March 29th at the Kia Center. Plus hotel and food during the game. Just open the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Enter Contest. Sponsored by PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Holland Arts, and Fairfield Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast-charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
WGSX Lynnhaven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Everybody would ask me why I came to Notre Dame. The truth is I came here to win a national championship.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
You'll be a Buckeye legend for life.
I just want to win a national championship. The College Football Playoff National Championship, presented by AT&T.
Coverage starts Monday at 6 on your home for college football on the Gulf Coast. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Goes everywhere with. If you missed the show, you can podcast it. If you want to see the show, just go to Peacock and we stream it live every weekday. Watch past episodes too. The Dan Patrick Show, available anywhere you are, any way you want it.
Dan Patrick.
Welcome to the Dan Patrick Show, hosted by the award-winning Dan Patrick. Every weekday, they bring you the biggest and best in the world of sports.
Tim Calishow, Dallas Morning News. Tim, if I said to Jerry Jones, you can't talk to the media, but I'll guarantee you win one more Super Bowl.
Oh, no radio shows?
Nothing.
This man does 2 radio shows a week, Dan. I mean, he'd like to do drive time, 3 to 6, going home with Jerry.
Going home with Jerry Jones. Weekdays on the Ticket.
Talking to RG3, fill in the blank. Justin Herbert is blank.
Justin Herbert is Phillip Rivers. That's what he is right now.
Watch out, Justin Herbert. Am I right, Todd?